Good afternoon and welcome to Right Now Television, our digital satellite broadcast network. We're a wholly owned nonprofit 501c3 subsidiary of IMI Tri-State Alliance. Today we are honored to have the distinguished author Fancoise White, who is the author of The Little Toolbox. And The Little Toolbox is a beautiful expose for anxiety, anger, depression, and guilt. Catch your teacher and shut it up.
Yes.
Mrs. Fancoise is also a three-time winner of the Self-Help International Book Award. She's the winner of the New York Book Award, and she's also the honorable mention of the 2013 Paris Book Award for nonfiction. And again, we are honored to have her at the studio. Mrs. Fancoise, welcome to Right Now Television.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Thank you.
And the pleasure is Right Now TV. Could you give us a little background on yourself, if you will?
Well, obviously, I am not from Texas. I am from France. I've been living here for 31 years in Montana. I have two children. I've been doing a lot of different things in my life, gathering many tools, which brought me to write this book, The Little Toolbox for Anxiety, Anger, Depression, and Guilt.
Great. And now, in regards to the tools, I understand you speak about the teachers in the book. And how did you come about the concept of the teachers?
Well, the teacher for me come in every day in my life.
Yes.
Anytime I have the opportunity to learn something, I'm gonna call that person, that situation, my teacher. And so everybody is a teacher to me. Everything is a teacher to me. My kids are my best teachers because they bring my emotion out. And so I believe our emotions are really an asset for us. When we have good emotion, I believe we are on our path.
Yes.
We're doing the right thing. When we are not happy and certain negative emotion come in our life, they are also teachers. They are there to tell us we need to change something. And so looking at everything as a teacher, I'm always starting to learn something. Number one about me that helped me to live a better life.
Yes.
To be true to myself and also to be true with others, which to me is very important. So teacher is a part of my everyday life. I see them every day. You're my teacher today. I'm going to learn things from you by being in this new situation.
Wonderful.
And so I'm always excited about learning new things.
And you're my teacher also. And again, it's an honor to be in your presence.
Thank you.
And we are just extremely thankful for you to appear here on the broadcast. There's some other areas in the book that I would love to discuss with you, if you will. One in particular is the issue of anxiety. You wrote about anxieties and how we can conquer those challenges in our lives. As we look at as I examine the book, The Little Toolbox, which is also it's on the, you can find it on Amazon.com. The Little Toolbox. It's an International Book Award finalist. She's an International Book Award finalist. And again, it's by Fancoise White.
Yes.
Ma'am, if you would, could you tell us a little bit about anxiety?
Well, anxiety is really an emotion that I experienced for a long time, that I realized was really draining me, and almost to the point of stealing my soul, because my day were anxious all day long. That's all I would do. And one day I realized that I was really going down this path of just being anxious all day long. That's all I was doing. And one day I was really thankful that I became so angry at me being anxious all the time, that with my anger, one day I said, okay, this is it. I am not gonna live my life like that anymore. It's not living a life.
Correct.
It's just being anxious all the time. So with the help of my anger, I decided to say no more. Every time I'm gonna have an anxious thought coming into my mind, I'm going to put a stop to it. And this is where my anger really became an asset in my life. And I decided to, every time I would have an anxious thought coming into my life, I would catch it, shut it up, and then breathe, and then see if really there was truly something going wrong at this time.
Wonderful.
And I realized 99% of the time there was nothing going wrong. It was just my mind dragging me into that path. So at the beginning it was really hard. Every day I had to catch that anxiety like 100 times a day. That's what I was doing during that. Just shut up. I'm going to tell my story.
Yes.
I'm going to own my life.
Yes.
And I'm going to make a good story. And so little by little, I was able to see that it was working. I would catch those negative thoughts, shut them up, and come up with my own story. And I would make my story nice, exciting, something that brings a different emotion in me than anxiety.
Amen.
And it worked.
That's marvelous. I want a program on a program note. Well, actually, from the reader's standpoint, was the book written to address or target a certain sector of society, such as our youth, our challenge, or our elderly, our seniors, or our veterans, or
No,
just the general populace?
I think it's really general, just because we all have those emotions. Everyone to a certain degree. So, but I think we all get anxious at some point.
Yes.
I also think we all have anxiety, depression, anger, and guilt at some point in our life. We are all human beings. We all have those emotions. So it wasn't really targeted for a certain kind of people. Of course, this book will be a lot more helpful with people who struggle with those emotions, but also with people who just experience those emotions and sometimes struggle with them, not maybe every day, but once in a while.
Yes, if you will, just for the viewing audience, could you, in retrospect to your origins, at what point in your life did you realize that you had such a gift to write?
Well, I didn't know for a long time. That came about because I always been fascinated with emotion. I think they are a real asset for human being. So I researched it, and I had to go through my own process and be able to deal with my own emotion, my demons too, before I started to feel that I had enough knowledge that I thought I could share something about emotion. At the beginning, I didn't pick any emotion in particular. And I struggled with that for a long time, because to me it was, I'm going to write a book about emotion, but where do I start? And then one day I simplify. I came up one day and I'm going to pick 4 emotions that most people have difficulty dealing with. And so that's how I started to write, really enjoyed it, really learned. And a few years later, the book was born.
That's marvelous. Ma'am, if you would, could you tell us where is your original birthplace?
From France. I was born in France.
What part of France?
I was born in High Provence, which is above the French Riviera, and I was raised on the French Riviera.
That's marvelous. Is that near La Rochelle by any chance?
Not really. It's closer to Lyon, which is a big town in France, and it's a few hours from the French Riviera. It's by Grenoble, a little bit below Grenoble. People know Grenoble if they go skiing in France.
Yes. And when did you come to America?
I came in the United States in 1983 and traveled quite a bit in the United States. Ended up on the Olympic Peninsula where I met my husband, and that's how I came to Montana. That was 31 years ago.
That's marvelous. At this moment, we're going to pause for station identification,
right,
if you will.
You're watching Right Now TV. We'll now take a pause to acknowledge our community partners, donors, and affiliates. The Salvation Army, doing the most good. The Salvation Army. Missoula Food Bank, nourishing the community. The Missoula Food Bank. Missoula Aging Services. We are proud of our years. Missoula Aging Services. Community Medical Center. From day one. Community Medical Center. You're watching Right Now TV, and we'll now return to our interview with Francoise White, the author of The Little Toolbox.
Again, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Jay Van Smith. I'm the executive producer for Right Now Television, and seated with me is our distinguished guest, Francoise White, who is the author of The Little Toolbox. She's a International Book Awards finalist. She's also a New York, the 2011 New York honoree, and the 2013 Paris book honorable mention for nonfiction. And also we have our distinguished Paul Lenihan, who is the program coordinator for Right Now Television. At this moment, we would just like to acknowledge our men and women in uniform, our men and women who are on the battlefield, who serve in defense of our great nation. We ask the blessings upon them, and we are here in defense to support you, to serve you, and we salute you. To our men and women in uniform who keep our shores free, we thank you, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
God bless America.
Bless you.
And now I would like to again welcome you all to the show. This is we are honored to have. This is our second broadcast, actually, and we are honored to have the
Third.
The third?
It's the third broadcast.
Okay. This is our third broadcast. I stand to be corrected. And again, we have the distinguished Mrs. Francoise White, who is the author of The Little Toolbox. And it can be found, you can purchase this on
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. Again, I believe Paul will have some questions for the author, if you will.
All right. So, Francoise, It seems that your book is saying the bad things that happen to us can be our teachers for the present and the future. Emotions that may be seen as negative can be used as teachers for positive outcomes. Anger, jealousy, revenge, they all have another side, and it's each person's opportunity to learn from the demons that haunt us. Is that a fair appraisal? Would you like to expand on that?
Well, I think it's really fair. I think every time we have a challenge, we have to look at it. Those challenges, when we call things challenges, usually is something we don't really like. We don't like the process, we don't like what it looks like, what it feels like. But if we go a little bit deeper into it, those challenges are presented to us for a reason, and the reason to me is we can learn something from them.
Yes.
And most of the time we are supposed, I believe, to learn something about ourselves. So if I face a big challenge, that brings me the opportunity to learn about myself. And the more I learn about myself, the more I'm going to be able to discover who I am, and the more I'm going to be able to handle myself in the next challenge that's going to be presented to me. And so every time we have big challenges, it's hard to face them. But I think the thing that really would help people is to be curious. Be curious about what's going on here.
Yes, yes.
It might not look good, it might not feel good, but if you come from a different point rather than reacting as, oh my gosh.
Yes.
You see,
A defeated standpoint.
What can I do about it?
Yes.
I know if this challenge is presented to me, I know I have somewhere the tool to handle it.
Yes.
And so be curious, what can you do about it? That's put you in a different situation. It's going to put you in a place where you're going to feel more empowered, more proactive. So you're going to do something about it rather than let that challenge swallow you up and drown you.
That's great. That's a very Eastern philosophy, too. Have you studied any philosophy, or?
No.
Does this come from any place of, what have you studied in order to back up this book?
Well, I
study?
studied my life, and studied myself, and I studied the challenges that come my way. And every time
So it's personal experience.
Yeah. And every time I face a challenge, I look at myself. I don't look at other people. Why did they do that to me?
Yes.
I look at myself. What can I do about it? I don't expect other people to bail me out or to do it for me. It's not their job. Their job is to face their own challenge and find their own tool to deal with it. And the outcome is when you face a challenge, if you come out of it and you feel better, you put yourself in a better position, then you're a winner.
Amen. Amen. And you also wrote about the areas of there are the factors in our life due to the choices we make that can either allow you to excel or can hinder your progress or your success. I think it's that's very admirable. I think it's very noteworthy that you took time to address the issues pertaining to how we handle anger and depression and guilt. Could you expound on those areas, if you will?
Well, when I look at those emotions, I also look at the solution. So, for example, people with a lot of anger, the number one thing we need to do with our emotions is we need to own them. If you're going to do something and I get angry, it's not your anger, it's my anger. I need to own that. So I can't, for me, I cannot blame you for making me angry. You're not.
I agree.
You might push me, trigger my anger, but it still belongs to me.
That's right.
And what I do with my anger
That's true.
is my solution. Because you cannot do nothing with my anger. It doesn't belong to you.
But it is real. It is real.
It's real.
It's yours.
And it produces chemical hormones that can affect the way we are and how we think and who we are and who we
And how our
become.
brain works and how it's networked.
Yes.
And to a certain point, and I'm going to
But
use
we can always change
anxiety.
that. Brain plasticity.
Yeah. And when
Good,
all
good,
emotion
good thought.
trigger a chemical reaction in our body. So if you're anxious all the time, you probably have a little bit of adrenaline rush going through you to a certain dose.
Yes.
It becomes an addiction.
And I think we become addicted without
Sure.
knowing it. I think I became an anxious junkie. Where, yeah, and I really use that word, and it's really
It's true.
a powerful word, but it's
It
true.
is.
I became addicted to my everyday rush that was brought with anxiety.
Based on negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anger is the same. We
Yes.
need that adrenaline rush every day. We become angry.
Yeah.
And, but anger, to me, I love not the anger part of it. I love the power
The power of it.
behind anger.
Yes.
And
That
so,
heat.
yeah, with anger, I was able to stop my anxiety.
That's incredible. So you used anger to stop anxiety
As
Yeah.
a tool.
Because
as a tool.
yeah, I
It's your
became
toolbox.
so mad at myself to live every day with that anxiety. And that one day when I said, this is it, I can't do that anymore, I really became
That's
angry.
it.
at
It's
myself.
over. That's enough.
Yeah.
We will now take a moment in our program to acknowledge our community partners, donors, and affiliates. You're watching Right Now TV. Missoula Federal Credit Union, more than you expect. Missoula Federal Credit Union. The Salvation Army, doing the most good. The Salvation Army. Missoula Aging Services, we're proud of our years. Missoula Aging Services. The Vet Center of Missoula, Montana, keeping the promise. The Vet Center of Missoula, Montana. Walgreens, at the corner of Happy and Healthy. Walgreens. And now we return to Right Now TV for an interview with Francois White, the author of The Little Toolbox. You're watching Right Now TV.
I'm not doing that anymore. And that's how I stopped my anxiety. I just, I am going to catch you. Every time you come in my mind, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to throw you out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell my own story. So
What do you
we
think?
have to recognize the tool behind each emotion. So guilt, you talk a little bit about guilt. I think guilt is an emotion that is really great because we feel guilty. It's something we need to look at and say, okay, am I on my path or not? What was my intention?
Yes.
When I did an action, was my intention bad? Was my intention to cause some kind of damage to somebody
True.
else?
Right.
So guilt is an emotion that's going to keep you on your path. It's going to ask you to look at your intention. You had good intention, then you're not guilty.
That's true. You're going to produce a positive effect. It's like, my mentors used to use the adage, smile. You know, it makes people wonder what you're thinking about. And it also helps, it brings out the beauty in you. You know, I mean, we're all beautiful beings.
Absolutely.
We are all the creatures created from the Most High.
And we are all teachers.
And we are all teachers. And you know, we can control the We control the levers that can open up your life, or shut or inhibit your life. And it all has to do with how you perceive a matter. You know, it's the process of it's the process of thought. Thoughts are things.
Absolutely.
And I am very, you mentioned about our body and our soul with regards to thoughts being things. Do you have a question about with regards to the body or the soul that you'd like to ask the author?
Would you say that negative experiences in our life could be teachers in disguise?
Oh, they absolutely are, without a doubt. And me, I will even go further than that. Not just the negative emotion, but also the positive emotion too.
True.
Because, you know, we have a negative emotion, we have to learn from it. It's a blessing in disguise. It's telling us when we don't feel good about a certain situation, it's telling us you have to change something about it. You can't change everything around you.
Correct.
You can change the way you look at it. You can change the way you deal with it. And there comes many choices. You don't like it. Should you stop it?
Yes.
Should you ignore it? Should you let it be and separate yourself emotionally from this situation? Do you want to get involved? Is that going to make you feel better if you get involved in that situation? We always have a choice. The choice we should pick, as far as I'm concerned, is the choice that's going to make you feel better.
Correct.
With the most growth.
Yeah.
Sometimes, maybe, would it always make you feel better? Or is it sometimes you choose the choice that just leads to the most growth, even if at the time it doesn't feel as good?
Or as popular.
Or as popular.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's a good point. And so sometimes we don't, to me, I really simplify. When I have a situation, a challenge coming in my life, I'm going to pick the solution that's going to make me feel the best.
Yes.
Because I believe in the body, mind, and spirit.
True.
There we go.
So my body, I see
synergy.
my body as a radar.
There we go.
If I go in a place, my body tells me, oh, that feels good, I'm attracted, I'm going to go. Because my body is telling me, hey, there's something good in there.
Yes, yes.
And if it's good and I feel good, then it's great.
Do you feel that about the show today, coming to the show?
Exactly.
You felt good about coming on? And
Exactly. My soul, my body is telling me, wow, I like that.
take this opportunity.
Therefore, my mind should follow.
All right.
The mind to me is got to be put on the side. My body gonna talk to me first.
Well, it's like energy unharnessed.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. And the mind is a terrible thing to waste. That is a true fact.
That's what I say in my book. Yeah.
You know, we have to select the things that go into our mind. First, well, you know, just a few other areas that we need to touch on, because out of the book that I think is important to share with our viewing audience.
Yeah.
Besides making your own choices, essential oils for your mind. Talk to me about what you mean by essential oils for the mind.
Well, essential oil, I am also a certified aromatherapist.
Wow.
Wonderful.
And so,
And would you break that down to the audience?
essential oils are basically extracts that come from different plants and trees and fruits and all kind of things. And they also have a lot of therapeutic medicinal uses. And they are a great tool to affect our well-being and our emotion. So if you're always angry and you want to come down, essential oils can help you. Essential oils like chamomile, who are really good for irritability and anger, will calm you down and bring you to a level where maybe it's going to be easier for you to deal with that anger.
Yes.
Anger is not an easy emotion to handle.
Address,
we need
yes.
to come down before we can involve our mind and our body to deal with it. So essential oil can really help anxiety, Sweet basil is a great thing to smell that can lessen anxiety.
Great.
And so sometimes when we experience emotion full-blown, it's hard to deal with it. We're not grounded.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the tools because it's so big. We just cannot deal with it at certain time. So essential oils are really a medicine that you can use and help you to bring those emotions down a level or two. And at that time, you mentally can get involved.
And they're natural.
And they are totally natural. There is no negative side effect.
Splendid.
And so they are really easy to.
And it's not a medication. You don't need a prescription. You can find these at Butterfly Herbs.
Exactly, the good food store, many
Fantastic.
different places.
Now, you say
online.
you're a certified, would you explain that term again?
Aroma
Aromatherapist.
therapist.
And how long have you been into that field, ma'am?
I got certified as an aromatherapist in 1998.
98.
Wow. That's a good. Almost
So
20
what?
years.
So how would a person notify you, reach you if they wanted to receive that type of assistance or of service?
Well, by email,
Okay.
and my email, I can write it down for you.
Well, and that was 1998, you say?
Yeah, 1998.
And that's wonderful. But, do you have an email that we can put up on the screen, or now or at some point?
We'll put it up.
Okay.
It's
and
up
what
right
would
now.
that be? What is your email? If you will.
Well, my email is funky1fu@msn.com.
How do we spell that out?
So, funky, like the funky music, which
Yes.
I love.
Yes.
Then one, the number one.
Yeah,
Foo.
which is my nickname.
FU
Yeah,
at msn.com.
yeah.
Wonderful.
And in the subject, they should put something like the little toolbox or aromatherapy, because if not, most likely it's going to end up in my my
Exactly,
junk
the
box
spam.
and it's going to be thrown away.
Right.
But you could
Right.
put my little toolbox or aromatherapy
Yeah.
or anything else that they're interested in.
Yeah.
As long as they put that in the subject line, they will get a
Yeah,
hold of you.
I will open it up and I will
Splendid.
not throw it away.
Now, can we, if you would, I would like to expound on the new image. Are we talking about the new attitude, or how you come about, you blossom from coming out of the bondage of the old self? Or are we referring to a metamorphosis that the body goes through when you release the inhibitions that keep us all blocked in, shelled in?
I don't understand what you're asking.
The new, now image, I'm sorry. The now image. It's
Now imagine.
now imagine.
So that is a place where I talk about.
It is imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a place
He needs his glasses.
where I
He lost
talk
his glasses.
about
That's not her fault.
looking in the
Go
future.
right ahead. Yeah.
And somebody who has dealt with their self,
Right,
who have gone through the discovery process.
Yes.
Somebody who is not afraid of saying, I have a lot of anger. Somebody that is not in denial.
Because we all do. As long as you're not denying it, you got something that this book could help you with.
Yeah.
We all have something that this book could help us with if we're not going to deny it.
Exactly.
Correct.
So the now imagines come from a place where imagine every one of us doing the same thing. Not being afraid of looking at who we are.
Right.
Not being afraid of saying, oh my gosh, I have so much anger. I have to deal with it. So if every one of us can do that process, and I really think this is what we are on this earth to do. We are on this earth, as far as I'm concerned, to look at ourselves, to discover our gift. And once we find our gift, we are supposed to put them to the service of others.
Of mankind.
Exactly. So your gift gonna be different than mine. Your gift also, but we all have a gift that can help
Something to
others.
contribute.
So the Now Imagine comes from that place. Imagine all of us
reaching our
doing
full potential.
job, looking at who
Fantastic.
we are, doing that self-discovery,
Making your contribution.
Oh, I find my gift, and now I
Yes.
can serve others.
There we go.
And others is not everybody.
It's just who you're meant to.
It's, yeah. So people will come to you, the people that you can serve will come to you in your life.
I
They will
agree.
show at your doorstep. They will show somewhere in your life, and you'll have the gift to help them.
You know, that brings to note a very famous quotation from the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King. He said that every man can be great because every man can serve.
Yeah.
And as long as we have the capacity, the desire, the ability to serve, we can make a difference
And
in
it's
the
also-
lives that we touch.
Absolutely,
Okay.
and you use the word desire,
Yes.
and that's also the word we need to desire to. I can learn from you.
Yes.
I want to learn. So if we all get that attitude
Yes.
and that curiosity,
Positivity,
of
curiosity.
learning, I can learn from my kids.
Yes.
I can learn from anybody.
Yes.
And
True.
if we come with this attitude of learning,
We
and
love. It's
Yes.
easy to love once you come to learn.
That's the key.
And it's take
I
the
agree.
fear out, you know.
Yes.
The fear is really something that is blocking us from growing, from finding our. Get rid of the fear. What are you
Yes.
afraid of?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You're afraid of yourself and your gift and your potential to succeed. There is nothing to be afraid there.
I
Go
agree.
for it, you
That's
know.
right.
Right.
Well, Dr. Francois, I truly believe that love is the answer.
I agree.
And
Absolutely.
we were, you know, I mean, we were born in creatures of love.
Absolutely.
You know, we're the highest form of existence.
That's a gift
And-
we receive from the Spirit,
Amen.
God, whatever you want to
Yes.
call it,
Right.
that is a gift that we all have.
Yes.
Use it.
And it's powerful. You know,
I
I
don't
mean,
think there is anything powerful, more powerful than that.
that's true. And, you know, I'm just, we love the fact that you appear on our program here at Right Now Television. And again, we have as our guest the distinguished Francois White. She is the author of the Little Toolbox, and you can purchase the Little Toolbox at the
Amazon.
Amazon.com. She's also a certified aromatic therapist.
Aromatherapy.
Aromatherapist. And we'll get her email up to you if you would like to contact her and consult with her on aromatherapies. We would, I'm sure she would be delighted. I know we are equally delighted to have her on the show. I would like to, as we come to a close of our broadcast, are there people that you like to acknowledge who assist you with writing your book?
Well, definitely all my editor.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, I had 3 editors. I was really fortunate to have people who edited my book who knew me. They knew my tone of voice, they knew my philosophy. And so the first one I'm going to acknowledge is Seglenda Gartner-Chambonneau. She was my first editor, and she had to move out because she got involved into politics. And my last editor was Darla Torres, a very good friend of me, who really did an excellent job. And really, Darla, thank you, thank you. Also, I love to honor and acknowledge Catherine Trigonis, who is the person who did
The artist.
Art.
And that's a very fine rendering. It's a great work of art.
It is.
It's very impressive.
And also Jim Caulfield, who set up the whole book to put it on file and was able to edit it, self-published it. So
Wonderful.
he did all the computer thing that I sure couldn't do.
Oh, bless your heart. And that was mighty thoughtful of you. Well, I also noticed you acknowledge your children.
And my children, who are my best teacher.
What are their names?
Gabrielle is my daughter,
And today is her birthday.
And today
We'd
is
like
her
to wish
birthday.
Gabrielle a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Gabrielle.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. How old is Gabrielle today?
Gabrielle is 21 today.
All right. You go, girl.
Thank you for watching Right Now Television. We're going to now pause for a moment to acknowledge our community partners, donors, and affiliates. You're watching Right Now Television. Missoula Federal Credit Union, more than you expect. Missoula Federal Credit Union. The Salvation Army, doing the most good. The Salvation Army. Missoula Aging Services, we are proud of our years. Missoula Aging Services. The Vet Center in Missoula, Montana, keeping the promise. The Vet Center of Missoula, Montana. Walgreens, at the corner of Happy and Healthy, Walgreens. And now we'll return to our program with Sean Terry showing us some of his incredible photographs. You're watching Right Now Television.
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Van Smith. I'm the executive producer of Right Now Television. And seated with me at the studio is Mr. Sean Terry. Mr. Terry is a distinguished photographer from Montana, and he has a presentation that I trust that you all will enjoy. Mr. Terry, if you will, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Jay. My name is Sean Terry. I'm 30 years old. I was born and raised in Montana, and I like to call myself a photographer. I'm actually really proud of my work. Well, we'll go ahead and cut to some of the pictures, and I'll show you some of my work right now.
Camera, roll.
My interests are, I'm interested in nature. I like to actually hunt and fish, spend about as much time as I can out in nature, and just kind of document it. What really led to photography is when I was a kid, I would actually just, it was funny because my mom would tell me that I was obsessed with praying mantises, and I would always freaking draw them.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was an animal that always gave me, that always sent chills up my spine.
Yeah, and in school, I just spent as much time drawing as I could, and once I got a hold of a camera on my cell phone, I just started taking pictures. And more.
I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but what is this here that we're looking at?
That's Salt Lake City. Those are the skylights, and I left the shutter open, and
That
red and white
is
lines.
amazing rendering.
Thank you.
Were you in motion when you took that photo?
No,
How did you accomplish that?
The camera was on a tripod, and there were a bunch of, like, you see the red lines there. Those are where cars are driving by.
Super.
I left the camera exposed for about 30 seconds to let the cars drive by, and so it just captured everything that was moving.
A remarkable work of art.
Thank you.
And next here.
That's a Sidewinder that I saw in Salt Lake. It was up in the Little Cottonwood Canyon. It was funny because I was actually working as a courier driver, and I would see those things almost daily.
Are they deadly?
Yes, they're venomous. I mean, it's a rattlesnake, so.
Well, that's news to me. I'm from the concrete jungle.
Right.
And what do we have here, sir?
This is just a fence that I saw. I like to kind of capture stuff like, things that are old and, kind of rustic looking, and that fence was sitting by a train yard. And I was actually on my way to Wendover, Nevada. And before you get to the Salt Flats, they just have a bunch of desert areas. So I just, I stopped through and just snapped a couple photos, and I happened upon that one.
For some reason, it feels like Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Excellent. What do we have here, sir?
Oh, that's just a sign. I don't know. I figured I'd take a picture, but it's kind of cool how the clouds behind it and everything. And I don't really know the message I was trying to portray with that one.
Well, I have a question right off the bat. So, I mean, what actually led you into photography, sir?
Well, it was a lot of encouragement from my peers. I would sit there and just take pictures of my just my surroundings, and people would always constantly be like, "Oh, you need to become a professional photographer. This is what you should be doing." And it just kind of fell in my lap, and somebody ended up giving me a really nice camera because they believed in me, and
That's marvelous.
I've just kind of been moving along with that. It's not like I ever planned on becoming a photographer. It's just kind of something that fell in my lap, and it comes naturally.
Anyone ever tell you you have the face for a photographer? You got that look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many years would you attribute to being in photography, sir?
Well, I only claim myself as a photographer. That was 2 years ago. And so 2012 is when I really just decided to run with it. I think I really just started taking pictures probably as early as 2010, and I just decided to make it official.
Great.
2012.
Are you a freelance?
Yeah.
Super.
I work for myself.
What do we have here, sir?
That is a moth. It was sitting on the concrete. I was walking.
Alien.
Right. I mean, the antenna on that thing is incredible.
Whoa! Now, where is this? What planet did you find that moth on? That was amazing.
That was again in Salt Lake City in the Little Cottonwood Canyon.
It's a remarkable specimen.
It was a huge moth. I mean, the thing is about the size of your fist. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
No way I could have got it. How far were you from it? Did you zoom in on it?
I was just inches. I just had a little point and click camera, and I just put it like right up next to it.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've got to look at that again later. That's a remarkable shot. What do we have here, sir?
That one there is a picture. That's a ponderosa pine leaf. What had happened is we actually ended up leaving our sprinklers on and not shutting them off, and the water droplets ended up freezing on that overnight.
Yeah.
It got the sprinkler all night, so I just walked out my front door and took a picture of that. That's actually a cell phone shot.
That is amazing, Sean. I'm impressed. What do we have here, sir? It looks like a snowman has been in the whipped cream or something.
No, I ended up going to a really, really super old graveyard, and that's actually the moss growing on a tombstone.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It kind of resembles a snowman that's been dipped in strawberry cream.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Wow. Next slide.
No, that's a hummingbird. My dad ended up making a perch on his porch for that thing to sit on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to catch that bird.
Yeah.
He is such an elusive species.
Yeah.
And they move so fast. Now, he was actually perched, which is rare.
Yeah.
I've never seen a perched hummingbird before.
Yeah.
You always see them zipping by, or they're doing their acrobatics.
Oh yeah, my dad ended up just like nailing a little stick next to the feeder.
Oh,
that
that is amazing.
Yeah, and he just hung out there. It was
Whoa.
pretty cool.
Very teeny tiny little creature. One of God's greatest creations. One of his remarkable creations. Oh, next.
That's a deer eating it's in a graveyard, but.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah.
Can we see that again, please, sir? Mr. Lenihan? What do we have here?
That's a deer eating in a graveyard, actually.
Super.
Yeah, the buck, he looked really skinny, but like he's got a big set
Big
of
backyard. Next.
There's There's just a shot of a sunset overlooking Salt Lake. You know, I never get tired of taking sunset photos.
And that is the actual natural. I mean, you didn't have any filters on the lens or none of that?
Well, no, I mean, I edited the photo. I mean, I could show you what it originally looked like. I guess we could probably show that later. Let me see if I can find that one.
Where did you get I mean, the hues? So that's your doing when you put the hues and all the
Yeah,
tones in it?
like this is one of my
is
shots, like the
marvelous.
before and after here, like after I go through the editing.
Okay. Experience in a television production studio, sir?
It is. Yes.
Well, we're honored to have you here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
and more, again, there's plenty of opportunity
Yeah.
for burgeoning artists to express themselves and develop experience
Yeah.
and marketable skills in the field. Right now, television is in its infancy stage. We're developing our own digital satellite broadcast network. We're in fact a wholly owned nonprofit 501c3 subsidiary of IMI.
Okay.
IMI Tri-State Alliance, which is an Indiana public benefit corporation. And they're developing their executive offices in Montana.
Nice.
And so we hope to provide some very interesting positions and opportunities for our youth, our challenged physically, mentally, as well as our seniors and citizens, our elderly, and our veterans,
Yeah.
which is our constituency. And this is what we do
Yeah.
at IMI. And right now, television is the actual broadcast division of that entity. It's a newly developed subsidiary. We're a 501c3 nonprofit,
Yeah.
and we are seeking volunteers. And so if you have a talent or an interest or a field of endeavor or a trade, or if you just would like to come on air and toot your horn, feel free to contact us. You can write us at Right Now TV, 500 North Higgins. Attention J. Van Smith. Or you can either stop by and drop by and then visit over at MCAT Television Studios, and just inquire that you saw it on Right Now Television, and that you'd like to come on our show. We'd be delighted to have you. We're on channel 189. We'll be developing a new series in the immediate future here at the MCAT Television Studios, 500 North Higgins. And again, today we're honored to have Mr. Sean Terry, who is a young and burgeoning photographer. You look out for this guy because he's going places. And any way we can be a supporter or assistance to him, we would be more than happy. We wish you the very best and continued success. Do we have any more footage?
Yeah.
What do we have here?
That is a dragonfly.
Oh, wow. One of my favorite, most fearsome. When I was a kid, they would just leave me spellbound.
Yeah.
I just could not imagine how they maneuvered, and they would somehow get in front of me, and I'm like, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay here. He's got to move because it's the most formidable creature I've ever laid eyes on. But they're beautiful.
You're watching Right Now TV. We're now going to pause for a acknowledgement of our community partners, donors, and affiliates. Missoula Federal Credit Union. More than you expect. Missoula Federal Credit Union. The Salvation Army. Doing the most good. The Salvation Army. Missoula Food Bank. We nourish the community. Missoula Food Bank. Missoula Aging Services. We are proud of our years. Missoula Aging Services. The Vet Center of Missoula, Montana, keeping the promise. The Vet Center of Missoula, Montana. MCAT Film Camp. Registration is now for your teens and kids. MCAT Film Camp. You're watching Right Now TV. We're returning to an interview with the photographer, Sean Terry. You're watching Right Now TV.
What do we have here, sir?
That's actually just a sunset. I just applied a lot of filters to it, so it kind of looks like the moon. It's kind of a...
That's marvelous. It kind of gives you sort of a Halloweenish.
Yeah, that's kind
flavor.
of the feel I was going for.
Yeah, I love that. All we need now is a witch on a broom whizzing by, and we got it. Trick or treat.
Right.
You know, throw a few 100 houses down in the base, and you got it. That's lovely. Okay. Now, last but not least, if you could go back, I would like to pull up one of the flower photos.
It's the one with the sun behind it, right?
The daisy, yes, the one with the orange hue. That one.
Yes.
I think that is the most beautiful moment, a photograph right there. It's a work of art. Sure. Have you ever thought about doing? Producing lithographs.
I don't know what
A lithograph is when you take your work, a photograph, you may apply some poetry or literature to it.
that'd probably be a
And
good.
print it up and market it.
Yeah, that might be a good option.
Yeah, it's a market. I mean,
Yeah.
it's there, and you have that talent, and I think that would be an area you might want to consider looking into. And again, anyway, we can be of support here at Right Now Television throughout our initiatives. We'd be more than honored to work with you.
Yeah.
As well, along with other artists. Do you have a final thought or opinion that you'd like to leave with the viewing audience with regards to your goals and aspirations, sir?
Yeah, I mean, photography is something that, like, I don't see myself ever stopping. It's something that's always come natural to me, and I just really want to be able to share my work with the world.
Great. We are delighted that you came.
Yeah.
And again, I want to thank you, sir, for coming to our broadcast. If you will, we're going to run your name and your email information at the end of the credits.
Yeah.
But again, it's been a pleasure, an honor to be able to have you as my guest today.
Thanks, Jay.
And I want you to, I hope this is not the last time we see you here.
All right.
We do have need for talent of your caliber. And again, we look forward to working with you in the near future.
Awesome.
So, I'd like to see some of that talent applied here as well as and throughout the state of Montana.